What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of Respect the Game podcast. My name is Edward, named after a great man, that being my pops. Shout out to my mother and my grandmother for helping raise me too. Please make sure you go follow at EMAX Stats for all your up-to-date high school, pro, and collegiate sports coverage. Will not disappoint. We'll keep you up to date on all that is going on in the beautiful sports world. Olympics just passed, but we're looking ahead to 2028. The 2-on-2 for the USA. Me and Sedacious is going to be representing. As you can see, Shineheart Izzo not in the building. Black Peace not in the building, but we are still going to hold it down for our brothers because at the end of the day, what is a podcast without your brethren?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. It is I, the one and only Sedacious Xavier Miles. And on behalf of me and the gang, I just want to say appreciate you for checking us out. Appreciate you for supporting us. Please continue to like, subscribe, and share. Um, Bro, take it away. Oh, if you want to get the money, just hit me. That's all I want to say. If you want to get the money in a different way, just hit me. That's all I'm gonna say. Let's go, bro.
Uh, Dacious, I'm gonna let you start us off. I know in the group chat when we was going through the rundown and what we want to talk about. I don't believe we talked about it or touched on it last week. But I know it's something that I've been venting to my wife. You text Lil Ronnie in the group chat, so I'm interested to know like where your mind was at when you texted in the group chat as it relates to Lil Ronnie, hood famous Lil Ronnie being killed recently alongside his daughter. What made you text that in the
uh,
chat?
Simply because I vow to always have my platform be about righteousness. And I know this is wishful thinking. What is the phrase? You're beating a horse with a dead leg?
Beating a dead horse.
Beating a dead horse, thank you. Beating a dead horse and all of this. But it's just, at this point for me, I guess as a man of God, and I like to consider myself a humanitarian, just to see like black on black crime. You know what I mean? Like that you know what I'm saying? It kills me. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as people rolling over in their graves, I feel like a slave roll over in their grave every time there's black on black murder, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like we it ain't looking like there's an end to it. Like it ain't looking like that. You know what I'm saying? And I understand circumstances, I understand situations, but again, like I said, I'm gonna always use my platform to stand in this position where we got to figure out better conflict resolutions. You know what I'm saying? We got to go get some therapy. We got to, go do some push-ups, play some basketball. You know what I'm saying? We got to pick up the gloves again. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, that's just all I wanted to say about it because I know I have a platform to speak on it, right? And I just want to say my piece on it. You know what I mean? And I don't really care about the situation. I know it's like, well, you don't know the situation. You don't know what really happened. It's like I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the situation was the situation such a unique situation where a little girl had to lose her life over it? No, never. Okay. So where's the solutions? You know what I mean? Like where are the solutions? I don't want to be like, hey, we need to fix it. I want to be like, hey, more people need to be speaking up about solutions. More people need to be given more resourceful solutions in our community instead of waiting for things to happen and continuing to point the finger and try to make some money talking about it. But that's just where I'd be at. Maybe I'm crazy, call me cool. But I digress, bro.
Um, Man, so where I've been torn and like wrestling with since like the little Ronnie situation, because I've also all last week I was like texting the group chat about it. Is man, I struggle with being judgmental from the standpoint of one, off with these niggas' heads for what they did, right? But after that, there's percentage of me, a small, extremely small, less than 1% of me, uh, that has some type of compassion or empathy for these niggas because I feel like they have to be utterly lost in this world to commit such a gruesome, heinous crime. In no way, because I feel like they are lost in this world, should they like not be prosecuted to the fullest extent. By all means, live with that and eat that and serve eternity in prison. But I just wonder, my mind goes to where is the disconnect or how are individuals becoming so gruesomely lost in this world that they're resorting to this type of violence? And I don't know where that pinpoint is at. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's like not having a father in the home. And then that's why I say why I struggle in terms of being judgmental, because obviously I'm two-parent household. You know what I'm saying? I was grateful and gracious enough to be blessed to have my pops in the house. But it's just like, yo, where's that disconnect there for like these young niggas to be crashing out the way they be crashing out, bro? Like, and I can only equate it to, again, having a small percent of empathy for them. Cause it's like, bro, y'all niggas gotta be lost in this world, not feeling like y'all got anything to live for, to be crashing out like this.
Yeah.
So that's what my mindset been at around this situation, bro. It's just like, are niggas that far gone? I mean, apparently
Mhm.
the answer is yes, but it's just
Yeah.
like, yikes, bro, yikes.
Yeah. It's I think about it like once you taint something, it's always kind of gonna be tainted. You know what I mean? It's like unless you have something as pure as water, you know what I mean, that could, I guess drown it out or dilute it. But liquor stores, crack, weed, um, you name it, all the different ways, robbing, pimping, all the different ways for us to make money, that we make money to make a good living. If we don't decide to do it the other way, the right way, rather, you go to jail for it, right? And we still do it. And since we still do those things, there's always going to be a reason for us to uh, off each other, for us to exterminate each other, always, right? Because it wouldn't be a reason if you know you it just would it just then it'll be anarchy then, but that's what they leave us with though. But that's what we was left with. You know what I'm saying? We don't have no prestigious family name that we've known for the last 90 years was black. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Right.
man. Yeah, it's yeah, man. I hate how lost people are and how they have nothing to live for and how that essentially results to crashing out. Because that's the other thing too, bro. The little Ronnie thing, it it awakening or reawakening a fear inside of me of like, you can't even stay out of niggas' way to a certain degree because niggas are throw away their life just to end yours.
Mhm.
And that's a scary, chilling thought to me personally. To know that a nigga is willing to throw their life away at the if it means they can kill you. Bro, that's a scary thought. That's a scary thought. So that's the other thing that I was thinking about with the little Ronnie situation. Um, Yeah, yeah. Very, very tough situation, man. Definitely pray for Lil Ronnie's family and their hearts and the trauma that is caused, and hopefully that over obviously a long course of period of time, there could be just a pinch of peace that subsides in their spirits as they try to get through this uh traumatic time in their lives. But yeah, man. Yeah. Um, we are going to cross over to the NBA. Dacius, I know how fond you think of LeBron, how much you respect him as a basketball player. Recently, Braun charged up Stephen A. courtside at a game. Yo, keep my son out of this. Stop talking about my son. Holding on. I'm sure a lot of y'all have seen it by now. Um, Was LeBron wrong for approaching Stephen A in this situation? Do you feel like there's a particular side? Like, do you feel like, yeah, like, do you feel like Braun was wrong in how he approached Stephen A? Do you feel like he was being overly sensitive about the matter? Or like, what was your take on LeBron approaching Stephen A courtside about, how he covers or talks about Bronny?
Uh, I'm a check it because, bro, chill out, bro. You know how this go. You've been a part of this for umpteen years. It's journalism, and if you ain't used to it by now, then, bro, go cry in the corner somewhere, my nigga. Don't try to flex your muscle on boys. That's lame, sheesh. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? Real kings don't do that, bro. Real kings don't do that to people who we feel like you can do it to. You know what I'm saying? And pause. Cause you know what I'm saying, it just ain't cool, bro. You gotta lead by example. And if you really had a problem with that man, you get it behind closed doors. You make sure that no cameras touch him, no microphones, and can't nobody see none of that, but you don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to hear nothing about that. I was angry or tensions are high and all that because those are excuses. You know what I'm saying? Like we live by a code. You know, gentlemen live by a code, and you know what I'm saying. We approach each other and we handle each other. You know, in the confines of that code. And I feel like with you knowing that that's how that man get paid. You know what I'm saying? And you know, everybody trying to get paid off talking about your son. Why come at the black man for doing it, bro? Like, and publicly do it. The black man that you know everybody's known for doing that, bro. Like that's lame-o. I'm trying not to curse, but I don't. I never respect that. I never respect that, and I thank God that I can always see when God is not in the situation. You know what I'm saying? When someone is moving off of the enemy's emotions and allowing the enemy to use them. I thank God I can always notice that in a person. And I don't care who you are, I'm never siding with it. I love you, bro. Great basketball player. But when it comes to the war of good and evil, yeah, I stand out, bro. I've been standing out, but I got triggered. But I got triggered about me.
um, there's a variety of different, obviously, perspectives as it relates to was Braun right or was Braun wrong. Um, I believe that what LeBron did to Stephen A. Smith wasn't solely about Stephen A. Smith, but Stephen A. Smith was the poster child in LeBron's head, I believe, for everybody who has had negative or just who has had negative things to say about Bronny, whether out of the spirit of just critiquing his game or obviously trolling and like, what I'm saying, being an anti-LeBron fan. So therefore you also trying to bring down Bronny. So I know at face value is Braun talking specifically to Stephen A. And obviously for the longest, Braun hasn't addressed like BS that's been in the media or comments and all these types of things that have been said about him. But though though it was Braun talking to Stephen A, I think that was him, Braun sending a message to Stephen A to be like, yo, not just you, but to all y'all other media people, stop fucking with my son, right? And Stephen A just happened again to be the poster child of that broadcast from LeBron, right? So that's that. Um, One thing I will credit Stephen A. Smith on that I don't think not many people have addressed is that like Stephen A. could very well easily be a coward of a reporter and somebody who covers the league, meaning he could easily say whatever he want to say about y'all in the comfort of the ESPN studios and never be willing to meet y'all face to face, never be willing to be out and about, so on and so
at the
forth
games.
at the games, right? So somebody like a Skip Bayless never went to any of the games. Skip Bayless talked reckless about Bron and many other players for years upon years, and ain't never put himself in a position to be approached to be seen, right? So from that standpoint, like I respect Stephen A. Like from a standpoint of like, yo, if I'm gonna say whatever I'm gonna say about you, I'm gonna put myself in a position for me and you to be able to have a conversation. Whether that's you pulling up on me at a game, at an event, or if that's, you know what I'm saying, you reaching out to me via phone. So from a man to man standpoint, I respect Stephen A. from that standpoint. And I feel like if Braun truly in his heart or heart's desire had beef with Stephen A., he could have reached out and been like, hey, we need to have a conversation, right? um Part of me feel, you know how sometimes when like you you know how sometimes when like you have to like defend the honor of somebody you love. I feel like some of that also too with Savannah being in Braun here, like, why does motherfucker Stephen A keep talking about my motherfucking son? Woo, woo, woo. Like, you need to check that nigga if you ever run into him. So like I feel like some of that was also is like I can't let
Stephen ain't messing with his food at the house. Damn. Hey man, come on, man. It's driving me crazy at the house, man.
So I feel like part of that was like Braun having to not just like be in defense of Brawny, but also having to like make sure his old lady and Savannah James feel like he holding
His
it
whole
down.
family.
You know what I'm
My daughter
saying?
crying. She reading about her son, about her brother, and she crying, man. That's what I'm getting, man. And my
You
wife got to
know,
console her dog, man. Stop it.
and also too, I would say Braun is saying this in his, you know, what he was, you know, yelling at Stephen A. Stop coming at my fucking son. Stop talking about my son. All of this, right? I say Braun is wrong in this sense, and he allowed his emotions to get the best of him, which it happens. You're human, I understand, but he's
Mhm.
wrong in the sense of you telling Stephen A. to keep my son name out your mouth, but you being a calculated, intelligent individual that we believe you to be on the court and off the court, you should know going to Stephen A. is only going to cause us to continuously talk about your son. And for that to be the case, right? Like
You wanted it.
you didn't help Bronny. You didn't like you doing that didn't prompt Stephen A to be like, okay, I won't talk about him no more. Like we're still talking about your son, Bron, solely because of what you did. Solely because of
Mhm.
what you did in the public eye going at Stephen A like that. I get
Yep.
it. I think the emotions got the best of him. He seen Stephen A. He probably seen Red. I'm pretty sure I would like to believe if he could do it all over again or go about it a different way, he would again, especially considering uh you have you got Rich Paul who has a relationship with Stephen A. That's nothing more than a hey, make this phone call, get Stephen A on the phone. You know what I'm saying? Like if you really trying to protect, I think Braun was emotional. I don't fault him for that. It's your son, it's your kid. Like you're gonna be protected with your family. This ain't like I don't think he should be condemned necessarily for not being able to compartmentalize. Okay, I'm at work and I'm a dad. I don't think you ever turn off being a parent per se, right? So, so yeah, um, Yeah, I just like Braun didn't help the situation. For him to want to protect Bronny and want Stephen A as well as other media members to keep Bronny's name out of his mouth, he didn't help the situation by what he did. He just made it work. He added gas to the fire. And so, in that standpoint, I would say Stephen A is wrong because he didn't accomplish what his goal was. I don't believe he accomplished anything in doing it in terms of dialing down the attention and the volume on all of the Bronny conversation. Um, so yeah, it was another POV man that I had heard. I heard from Keenan Martin, but it slips my mind. I forget it, but that's my overall take on it too. And I was listening to the Gil's Arena episode with Stephen A. that just came out, and Stephen A's gripe, Stephen A's POV is, hey, I'm not talking about your son. I'm talking about the position in which you as a father curated to put your son in. I'm talking about how you brought all this attention on your son. I'm not talking about your son, but I'm talking about you specifically, LeBron. Um, and and other people, I know other people, Gil's Arena crew, like they're arguing, hey, let him be the 55th pick. Let's treat him like the overall 55th pick, which is let's not care about him, pay no unnecessary attention to him like you would any other 55th pick. But when Braun is saying, hey, Bronny is better than half the guys in this league, when Braun is saying, like, I want my son to play with me on the team and so on and so forth, when you put him on a pedestal before he comes in the league and earns any stripes, Braun, you know the media better than anybody. Like, what do you think is going to happen, dog? You know what
Yeah,
I'm
rake them over the coals. Yeah.
saying? So it's just like I I I can only understand it to a certain magnitude because obviously, like, I ain't never been no father, and none of us have been great enough as LeBron James to be great so long in your career to where you could actually play with your son. Nobody has been great that long or had that opportunity. And so, like, this is a first time situation for LeBron. For the longest, he was been able to navigate through the media unscathed with just taking all the arrows in his back for himself. But I understand emotionally, it's a different type of feel when this is your son. Like, of course, Braun is not looking at Bronny as no coworker or his teammate. He's looking at him every day on the basketball court as his son. And when you as a parent see your son getting all of this criticism, whether it be warranted or not, that is going to make you be very emotional and act possibly in an irrational fashion. And I think that's what
Mhm.
we're seeing with LeBron right now, um, as he's in a situation he's never been in before. So, so yeah, man. And this is the last thing I'll say about it. People who like really have you lose sleep about LeBron's success and you sleep well when you feel like LeBron has failed and you have this disdain for the nepotism that he's used in his favor to allow his son to be in the NBA. If you as a parent hate LeBron for what he's been able to do for his son, but you yourself haven't been great enough in whatever field it is you work in enough to be able to put your kids on, I don't respect that. I do not respect that. I
No.
again, how he went at Stephen A. I don't agree with Braun doing that because it didn't serve a better purpose for Bronny. But all in all, I respect what LeBron has been able to do throughout the course of his career to be able to put his son in a position to be in the NBA. And for y'all who hating on that and like you can't afford to like put your kid in a position of being successful when they get out of college and by being great at whatever it is you do, yeah, bro, you're a sucker. Like I have no respect for that in no way, shape, or form. How dare you be mad at LeBron for something you can't do for your kid? Um, so yeah, man. Yeah.
Mhm.
Next up on the rundown is absolutely nothing. Oh no, no! I want to have this conversation with you, and then we could go talking to Black Peace earlier, and we're on the phone talking about the and not Anthony Davis, Anthony Edwards situation with I'm gonna say allegations because I've seen it, but I haven't cared enough to dig and prowl to see how much is true. So right now, I'm gonna just leave it at the blogs are alleging through text being posted by Anthony Edwards' um alleged baby mother that he's like sending these texts saying like, "Yo, like get rid of the kid. I don't want the kid. Like that's on you," type situation, right? So I'm having this conversation with a Black Piece earlier about it, and I'm just like, at some point, we have to figure out if that was actually Anthony Edwards' response to, "Hey, I'm pregnant," and if he's on some like straight up like, "I don't want nothing to do with the kid." I side on this. I side on the side of if this is true, if it's true, not saying it is, we can speak in the hypotheticals for right now and allege. If it's allegedly true that this was Anthony Edwards' response to like, "Hey, I'm pregnant," and he like, "And what you telling me if I told you I didn't want it, I told you to get rid of it." To me, I can't respect you not want to take care of a kid that you brought into this world. That's my position on it, right? Black
Mm-hmm.
Peace's position on it was why is most of the blame or responsibility placed upon the man to be there in terms of being there for the kid? Like, yeah, why is all the responsibility mostly placed on the man and it's not evenly displaced and put also on the woman who also laid down because it takes two, right? Um, which I wish he was here to like regurgitate his POV on that. But we was just going back and forth and just like, yo, if you brought a kid into this world, you saying I don't want to take care of it. I can't respect that. And he was just being like, yo, sometimes it's not about like the dude, it's on the woman too to be like, hey, especially, and this was like our scenario that we had painted. It was just like, yo, what if this is like we just fucking on each other for the time being? This is nothing serious. We care not to have any serious commitment or relationship to one another, right? If that's the case, and you shooting up the club carelessly, and then a baby comes, and you like, oh shit, let's go ahead and take care of that. You know what I'm saying? Like we just fucking on each other, and she's like, but I want to keep it, and you like, what? Like we ain't on that type of time. You know what I'm saying?
Pause it. I'm sorry, not to pause you. I'm not pausing you.
Go ahead,
But
go ahead, go
that
ahead,
that
go
that's
ahead.
that right there is more pivotal than it's more pivotal to the conversation than people give. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's more of a focal point of the conversation than people like to stop and chew on before moving on to she had the baby and now this is the result, right? Because let me tell it, I wasn't there, but I could already tell you that you and Darnell are having two conversations. You're having a conversation about the baby being born and need to be taken care of. He's having a conversation about the responsibility before there is even a fetus. You see what I'm saying? There's always two conversations happening when this conversation takes place, right? So Darnell is saying, if I'm shooting up the club and we was just on some fuck shit, I'm trusting you with my nut and the fact that you understand that we on some shit and we don't want nothing extra from this, right? So if you come up pregnant and I tell you, hey, These are my wishes and my wants. Abortion, because we was on fuck shit, and yeah, my nut was put in you, but I trust you, so that's why you told me, because I trust you with my nut. Now I'm trusting you to take care of it because you understand that this was just some fuck shit, not some shit that I should be tied to for the rest of my life.
All
Right?
right. So you broke that down eloquently. With that, you have to choose a side. Which side are you picking?
Okay, so okay, hopefully, because it's a lot. Okay, so are you saying that when she says I'm keeping it, and so you saying, am I on the side of now I have to take care of it? I'm on the side of, well, you decided that you keep it now, you take care of it, on you. Am I what side? I'm on the side of take care of it because that's the way I was born. Like my lineage of men tell me that this is the way it goes when you come up on this issue as a black man. And I understand that certain people's other lineage of man, if they've had a lineage of man that goes back past their grandfather like me, would be like, nah, fuck that bitch and her baby. You sent her the whole 500, and if the bitch still kept that hoe, okay, she 500, she can keep that life, and boom, boom.
I'm
And
gonna try,
really, go ahead.
no, I'm gonna try to take a stab in the dark. Okay, I tried to take a stab in the dark. See if Darnell would have picked up, but he didn't. All right,
Yeah,
so
no.
I'd like, yeah, bro, like, but like, I don't understand. I don't understand, dog, how like you could. I just like I don't get how you can be on that type of time with a woman to begin with.
Because you have not been scorned by a woman like that. You know what I'm saying? You have not had this woman love the shit out of you while you are having intimate moments with her, and everything is good and happy go lucky, and we're on the same page knowing exactly what each other wants through and through. But now, when a baby comes along, you are using it as, in my mind, you're not going to use it as a blessing, because it's not going to be a blessing for me if I told you, hey, this is how I see my life. And that's a decision that goes directly against how I see my life. And then you take it upon yourself. Yeah, it's your blessing too, because you got to carry it and you love it and you nurture it. I understand that. But there is a responsibility that society will now place on me moving forward. And I was responsible enough to be like, hey, I need that abortion out of you. And you, what you did was you betrayed me for real. It's a betrayal that these niggas feel. For real. Like you laughing, you laughing, but you ain't been there, nigga. You ain't been there, nigga. It's a betrayal. It's like, oh, okay. Well,
This is
guess who get to hit have the last laugh? You take care of that old end.
that's
For
some nigga
real.
shit.
And I don't be mad at, bro. Hey, I don't get it, but I don't be mad at niggas, bro. I'll be like, yeah, nigga, you tell her. So that's what I'm saying. You
I
having two
I
two different conversations with Darnell.
can fully understand what you saying, but why even give a motherfucker like your lifeline like that, bro? That's what I don't
Because
like. That's what I don't get. Like, does it boil down to just like no discipline, or like
the,
I don't get like this
the,
unspoken mutual agreement. Uh, I'm gonna shoot the club up in case
yeah,
something go ahead. Like, I don't.
yeah, bro.
I personally can't fathom it,
Ah,
bro. I can't
bro,
fathom it, bro.
bro, and whoo, Poochie. When I tell you, brother, when I tell you it's a thing, don't think that even like, and I love it, bro. I love it, man. I love it. I love that I have you, and you are able to be my proof that there is another life that be lived, that is more worth living than the life that I had been choosing. right? And I thank you for being one of those pillars in my life for me to see that. Because when we get to moments like this, it'd be so funny to me because you're saying, I don't understand everybody walking around shooting each other's clubs up. Like, is that really
Bro,
happening?
I've never had that type of trust prior to my wife. Like I ain't never had that type of trust with a girl, bro. Ever. So I'm telling bro, the like and it's I'm not even tripping on like I'm tripping off the fact that like niggas is willing to take those penitentiary chances, dog.
It's more of us. It's more of us without someone telling. It's more of us not having someone to tell us to buy condoms and use condoms than there are of you telling you to buy condoms and use condoms. And there are more of us not having someone to tell us, nigga, pull out every time. This is what happened, and reminding us of that. Then there are of you having someone to tell you, nigga, pull out, and reminding you of it all the time. There are
Bro,
more.
it's
Always more. We'll always outnumber y'all. I mean, and I hate to be on this side. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying. I understand that that shit is wicked, 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 wicked work, right?
bro, and like I always like to say like I like I like to believe that I like sex just as much as the next man does.
Mm-hmm.
But in my mind, but like when situations like these, scenarios like this, like or like presented, just like these unspoken agreements of just like, hey, I'm gonna shoot the club up. If you get pregnant, like you know what I'm saying, like yeah, bro. Like I say, bro, I like vagina just as much as the next man does, but like I ain't never been that stronghold by it to where like I'm taking those chances like that, bro. I'm
Well,
just
see, the thing is, bro, without having someone, because see, Poochie, when you before you start out, you have someone kind of prepping you, but then you have to think about on a split screen, there's somebody who's going to middle school and no one's prepping them, right? And in middle school, they start off, you know what I'm saying? Like, and from middle school, from the first time they ever snuck some, 14, 13, or ever old, they know exactly what it feels like to ejaculate raw, like the real way, the right way, like the way that it's meant to be. You know what I'm saying? The most ultimate the feeling of it all, they know comes from you not wearing protection. That's why I'm like when I was speaking earlier, like I'm gonna always use my platform for righteousness because I understand where my people are. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just continue to point the finger at them. I want to plead with them, and I want to kind of like guide them to the help that we need in all avenues and aspects. But anyway, that's that. When it comes to this, brother, um, there are more tainted than there are not. You know what I'm saying? And it kills me that we live in a world now where LeBron James will be seen getting into it with somebody publicly. But that's that. That's that. We live in that world now. But that's crazy. But that's that. Right now, as it pertains to this, though, yes, they understand what it was like going past putting the tip in, actually getting a few strokes, and then six, seven stroke the magic happening, and then once the magic happened, and you get how that feels while you doing that, bro. You get addicted to it, and it's like drug, and it's like you want it every time. Especially when you're young and you don't have anyone teaching you the relatability between sex and love.
and you're not gonna have no true discipline like that at a young age, starting out the gate.
And you ain't got nobody, hell no. And these little girls hot in the pants, hell no, because they ain't got no dads neither. Right? Dad had three, four, five kids left him. Right? Those four, five kids is boys and girls. That's why we got sexy reds running around. I mean, but I'm sexy red. I love you. I'm not mad at you. But you know what I'm saying? What you have the women doing is just not conducive to what we need as community. But you say each his own, baby. Get your money. That's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Taking those type of chances, I'll forever not be able to wrap my it's like I get it, but I don't get it. Like I can't it's hard for me to wrap my mind around taking those chances. Especially with like randoms, dog.
Yeah,
It's hard for me. It's hard for me. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and man, because I think it's like sometimes I'll be like, bro, if I was at Wally and I just like cut Poochie's head off and took his brain out, and then cut my head off and took my brain out and swapped them hoes, I would have been all right. Because that nigga would have been having, he would have had at least one of these hoes. He would have had one kid. I would have had one kid. He would have had one kid, and we would both been good. Because we would have both
Yo, bro.
understood. We leaving here. We're going to get our masters. We're going to do this, that, the third. It's like, ooh.
Yeah, I'm so grateful that I have had no kids. Um, yeah, I'm so grateful I've had no kids from the past, man, and I get to like build that, share those experiences like with my wife. Yeah, man, cause and that's the other thing too, bro. Like I don't know, like I have always just like viewed like kids just in general, like a kid, like I've always like viewed it to be like a high like responsibility, like a big deal. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like motherfuckers like
Mhm.
nowadays, like they be talking about kids like you can go pick them hoes up from the corner store. It's just be like, yo, like we talk about
That's
crazy.
what made me have three kids. That people talked about them like that, and I was just like, oh, okay, kids ain't nothing. And then it's like, no, no, nigga, we ain't not nothing.
You
Stop
know,
playing.
yeah, but I've always I just always like taking like creating life seriously and like I never looked at it as frivolously as like some people like tend to act about it, man. But yeah, that's yeah, man. Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
you just made me think about, bro. This was crazy. This is how messed up my mind was, bro. I had kids before I knew how kids were taken care of, bro. Like I had my first kid was at 22, right? 22. I had kids before I graduate college to understand, hey, when you graduate college and get a job, you either pay for kids or you pay for the life that you're gonna live by yourself. I had kids before I knew that that was a decision that I was gonna have to make graduating college. That's bananas, bro. That's bananas. I had no idea that my Aunt Reed going to work was the reason why could be on her insurance, the reason why we took trips, the reason why she was able to rent vans and all the stuff she did for the church. I had no I had no clue that all of the things that was done behind the scenes, everything was just taken care of for me. So when I went to school, you know what I'm saying, and now I'm kind of having to take care of things on my own. Nigga thinking he too grown and had three kids. And then when I come out of college and really gotta be grown, you also gotta be grown and take care of these kids too. And that shit like, whoo, boy. And I had a warrant. Like, it's like, bro. And then Aunt Reed was getting sick right when I came out. Luckily I had became a technician. Boy, it got real wicked real quick, real fast. Because ain't grandma just passed away like not 2 years before then in '09. And within no, 2 years, within the next 5 years, Henri and 14, 15, 15, and yeah, and Uncle Leon within 9 years and 24. This has been crazy, bro. This has been crazy. But um, the fact still remains that I don't want to continue the pattern. So I'll make sure that my children have their dads in their lives so they understand to look for the type of man that to have children with that will marry them. And then you give him children when you understand that he can provide for you. And then boom, once that happens for my kids, and then my kids' kids, and my greats. And, hopefully the Lord wants to call me home then, and that's all anybody could ask for.
Yeah, be able to be old enough to see your kids' kids. That's what's up right there.
Yeah, but yeah, no. If you jizz in her and you give her the option to keep it, then understand that that is what God wanted, and you have to do your best to show up for that kid financially, mentally, physically, in whatever ways possible, whatever opportunities that the Lord, i.e., the universe, aka the universe, whatever y'all want to call it, provides you, and you'll be all right. You know, but don't slouch on those opportunities. Don't slouch on them, because those are the ones. Those opportunities are going to show your consistency. Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah, man. Beautiful people. This is what you call a great episode. Please make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Please make sure you like the podcast. I need to make sure I start saying it at the beginning of the podcast. Make sure y'all follow us on all social media platforms, man. As always, we don't take y'all listening to us for granted. We are just about
Yeet,
I won't say just about. We are fully caught up on all of our
yeet.
podcast uploads dating back to January or December. So go back, look at all those clips, all that content is still relevant for today. And yeah, we're gonna keep growing this podcast, man. Please make sure y'all follow us. We love y'all. Don't take y'all listen to us for granted. We will see you, beautiful people, next week.